1. What is the primary purpose of the Foundation Skills Assessment, FSA, in British Columbia? A. To rank students against each other for college admissions. B. To assess student learning in literacy and numeracy and inform instructional practices. C. To determine teacher performance evaluations. D. To replace classroom-based assessments entirely. 2. According to adult learning principles, which approach is most effective when training teachers to administer the FSA? A. Distributing written manuals without discussion. B. Providing hands-on practice with sample test materials and collaborative problem solving. C. Requiring memorization of all administration protocols. D. Conducting one-time lecture-based training sessions. 3. Which grade levels are required to participate in the Foundation Skills Assessment in BC? A. Grades 1, 3, and 5. B. Grades 2, 4, and 7. C. Grades 4 and 7 only. D. Grades 5, 8, and 10. 4. When evaluating the effectiveness of FSA preparation strategies, which metric provides the most meaningful data? A. Number of practice tests completed. B. Time spent on test preparation activities. C. Student growth in literacy and numeracy skills over time. D. Percentage of students who finish the test early. 5. In developing curriculum that prepares students for the FSA, which principle should guide instructional design? A. Teaching exclusively to the test content. B. Integrating literacy and numeracy skills into meaningful, authentic learning experiences. C. Focusing only on multiple-choice test-taking strategies. D. Eliminating all other curriculum content during FSA preparation periods. 6. What is the scaffolded instruction approach in preparing students for literacy assessments like the FSA? A. Building temporary physical structures in classrooms. B. Providing graduated support that is gradually removed as students gain competence. C. Using only the easiest materials to build confidence. D. Keeping instruction at the same level throughout the year. 7. Which communication strategy is most effective when explaining FSA results to parents who are unfamiliar with standardized testing? A. Using only technical assessment terminology. B. Providing raw scores without context or interpretation. C. Using clear language with visual aids showing student progress and areas for growth. D. Avoiding discussion of areas where improvement is needed. 8. According to BC education regulations, which accommodation is permitted for students with diverse learning needs during FSA administration? A. Allowing parents to assist during the test. B. Providing extra time as specified in the student's individual education plan, IEP. C. Giving students the answers to difficult questions. D. Allowing students to skip sections they find challenging. 9. When mentoring new teachers on FSA administration, which technique best develops their confidence and competence? A. Having them observe experienced teachers, then co-administer, then lead independently. B. Requiring them to administer the test without prior observation. C. Providing only written instructions without support. D. Having them watch a video without hands-on practice. 10. What is the purpose of the FSA reading comprehension component? A. To test memorization of specific texts. B. To assess students' ability to understand, interpret, and analyze various text types. C. To measure reading speed only. D. To evaluate handwriting quality. 11. In implementing formative assessment practices aligned with FSA goals, which approach is most effective? A. Waiting until the week before FSA to assess student skills. B. Using ongoing assessment throughout the year to inform instruction. C. Only using summative assessments at the end of units. D. Avoiding assessment to reduce student stress. 12. Which adult learning principle is most relevant when providing professional development on FSA data analysis? A. Adults learn best through passive listening. B. Adults bring prior experience and prefer practical, job-relevant learning. C. Adults prefer learning without connection to their work. D. Adults learn best when treated like children. 13. What is the recommended approach for communicating FSA participation requirements to families who speak languages other than English? A. Only providing information in English. B. Providing translated materials and access to interpretation services. C. Assuming families will figure it out on their own. D. Waiting for families to request information. 14. According to BC Ministry of Education guidelines, what is the consequence for schools that fail to administer the FSA properly? A. Immediate school closure. B. Potential requirement for corrective action and additional monitoring. C. No consequences as participation is optional. D. Teachers lose their certification. 15. When evaluating student work samples in preparation for FSA writing assessments, which rubric component is essential? A. Length of the writing only. B. Neatness and penmanship exclusively. C. Organization, content, conventions, and vocabulary. D. Number of paragraphs only. 16. What is differentiated instruction in the context of preparing diverse learners for the FSA? A. Teaching all students exactly the same way. B. Adjusting teaching methods, materials, and assessments to meet varied student needs. C. Only working with high-achieving students. D. Separating students by ability and never mixing groups. 17. Which data visualization method is most effective for communicating FSA school-level results to stakeholders? A. Raw data tables with no context. B. Complex statistical analyses without explanation. C. Clear graphs and charts with comparative data and trend analysis. D. Verbal descriptions only without visual aids. 18. According to assessment literacy principles, what should teachers understand about the FSA? A. It is the only measure of student learning that matters. B. It provides one data point among many to inform understanding of student progress. C. It completely determines student grades. D. It should replace all classroom-based assessment. 19. When mentoring teachers on using FSA data to inform instruction, which approach is most effective? A. Focusing only on weaknesses without acknowledging strengths. B. Using data to identify patterns, set goals, and adjust instructional strategies. C. Ignoring the data completely. D. Using data to compare teachers against each other publicly. 20. What is the purpose of the FSA numeracy component? To assess only basic arithmetic facts. B. To evaluate students' mathematical reasoning, problem-solving, and computational skills. To test calculator operation skills. D. To measure drawing ability in geometry. 21. In developing a school-wide FSA preparation plan, which element is most critical for success? A. Cramming all preparation into the week before testing. B. Integrating skill development into daily instruction throughout the year. C. Canceling all other learning activities for FSA preparation. D. Only focusing on students who are struggling. 22. Which accommodation is not appropriate for the FSA without proper documentation? A. Providing extra time for students with documented needs. B. Reading test questions to students who have this specified in their IEP. C. Allowing any student to take the test home to complete. D. Providing assistive technology specified in a student's learning plan. 23. When communicating about FSA results, what ethical principle must educators uphold? A. Sharing individual student data publicly on social media. B. Maintaining student privacy and confidentiality while discussing results. C. Comparing students publicly to motivate competition. D. Withholding all information from parents. 24. What is backwards design in curriculum development for FSA preparation? A. Teaching content in reverse chronological order. B. Starting with desired outcomes and designing instruction to achieve those goals. C. Only looking at past test questions. D. Teaching from the end of the textbook to the beginning. 25. According to research on test anxiety, which strategy is most effective for supporting students during FSA administration? A. Emphasizing that the test determines their future success. B. Creating a calm, supportive environment and teaching stress management techniques. C. Threatening consequences for poor performance. D. Avoiding any mention of the test to prevent anxiety. 26. When evaluating the validity of FSA results, which factors should be considered? A. Whether the test measures what it claims to measure. B. Only the final score without context. C. Comparison to other provinces only. D. The color of the test booklet. 27. What is the role of the BC Ministry of Education in the FSA program? A. To administer tests directly in every classroom. B. To develop, oversee, and ensure consistency of the assessment across the province. C. To have no involvement in the assessment. D. To only publish results without any other involvement. 28. In mentoring teachers on differentiating FSA preparation for English language learners, which strategy is most effective? A. Providing vocabulary support and context building while maintaining high expectations. B. Exempting all ELL students from the assessment. C. Providing exactly the same instruction as for native English speakers. D. Lowering expectations significantly. 29. Which formative assessment strategy best prepares students for FSA reading comprehension? A. Only using multiple choice questions in isolation. B. Engaging students with diverse texts and teaching comprehension strategies explicitly. C. Avoiding any reading instruction until test day. D. Only reading fiction and ignoring nonfiction texts. 30. What is the purpose of the FSA writing assessment? A. To test typing speed. B. To assess students' ability to communicate ideas clearly in written form. C. To evaluate spelling only. D. To measure how fast students can write.